Hi everyone! So today's video is going to be a continuation of the beginner's makeup that I've been doing from foundation, brows, and now shadow. Now we're going to be doing cheeks and contouring. So it's going to be completing most of this look, and then we will do one for lips. So yeah. If you want to see how to do some beginner's contouring tips and tricks, just go ahead and keep on watching. First off, you really want to make sure that you've got the correct contouring powders for your skin tone. Some of them are a little bit more on the orange side or more warm. Some of them are more on the gray or cool side. It just depends on your skin tone. And because of this, sometimes with fair skin, the orange or warmer based contour powders do not look right because they look really, really orange. For me and for today, I'm going to be using my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. It is one of those things that I love because it's got so many different colors that you can pick from. There is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, there is the NYX one, there are so many different ones out there. So this will work no matter what powder you have. If you do not have one, or if you do not have a palette with a couple of different colors to choose from, what I would suggest is finding a compact that might be your shade, but about 3 shades darker than what you actually are, and that can be your contour powder as well. It just depends on what you have in your collection, but today we will be using the Shade and Light palette. It looks like this, and it has highlighting powders on top and contour powders on the bottom. This is more of a gray tone, this is a more neutral tone, and this is a little bit more of a warm tone. So I will be using mostly these two today because I am so pale and I do not have any fake tan on. Usually if I have fake tan on, I will be using this and this one, but today we'll be using these two. So contour brushes are really more of dealer's choice, personal preference, whatever you want to call it. Some people love the flat angled brushes or the flat brushes that look like this. This is from e.l.f. and this is called a contouring brush. These ones are really popular. There's also ones that look like this. This is the Morphe MB35 and it's more of an angled brush. I tend to use these more than I use these ones. If I'm looking for an extremely chiseled look, then I'll go ahead and use these in conjunction together, and I'll carve out my cheeks and then I'll go through and blend out with this brush. It really depends on your personal preference, but today I'm going to be using my Morphe brush and I'm going to be not chiseling out my cheeks, I'm just going to be contouring and giving myself a little bit more of that glow. So yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in just a little bit so you can see more of what I'm doing. So now that you're closer to my face and you can tell that my skin is completely bare, I have foundation on, I do not have any contouring powder, I look like a ghost right now essentially. What I'm going to be doing first is taking this color and this color together on this brush very lightly because these tend to kick up just a little bit of dust and I have a little bit more than I'd like, so I just kind of tap it off. And you can see that the brush is completely soiled in contour powder. And I'm going to be making a fish face. It makes it really easy to contour when you're doing this by kind of putting your face into a fish face. So think of Nemo. And I'll go ahead and do that face for you if you don't know what I'm talking about. By doing that face, you can kind of see, because I do have rounder cheeks, you can see where the hollows of your cheeks are. If you do have a more chubby cheek area like I do, then this will make it super easy to find where the hollows of the cheeks are. But when in doubt, you can also go from here, which is your little sideburn, and go out that way if you do not want to do the fish face. That is another way of kind of contouring without having to really work at where you're going to be putting that powder, because you don't want it to go too low and you don't want it to go too high. There is a real small bit of section that we're really working with, and we don't want it to, you know, be to our eyes or to our eyebrows or the tops of our cheeks, and we don't want it to the bottom of our jawline either. So what I like to do is kind of just do that face kind of off to the side so I can see where the hairline is, and I go to about where you can see the front of my face. I don't want to go farther or deeper in towards the lips because that's going to look weird if you're, you know, got contour all the way through here or stripes. What I like to do is kind of hit it so that it's where the front of my face would be. So all of this looks like it's smaller. So what I do is take the bottom part of the brush, because I don't want it to be flat against my face and doing like this. What I like to do is actually do the butt of the brush. I know that sounds awful, but the butt of the brush right here, and kind of just contour and show where that line is going to be. And I'm starting at this little sideburn here. And I'm just making a about 2-inch section of where that contour is going to sit. So you can see that right there. So where it would look if you were, let's say that you were doing a Day of the Dead makeup or something like that, you can see here that it comes out and then stops right here. So that's where I'm going to be putting the contour, but I'm not going to be angling it down at all. I'm just going to be carving out that section. So it looks like that. Now that that's done, what I like to do is kind of just blend out just a little bit so I don't have any harsh lines and you don't have a big stripe. So when you look at me, you can tell that this curves in just a little bit more and this does not. It gives it the illusion of being smaller than it actually is. I'm gonna go ahead and put just a little bit more powder on my brush, and what I like to do, this is all personal preference, you do not have to do this, but this is what I like to do, is go ahead and just go up through the sides and the tops of the temples and kind of connect everything because it makes it look a little bit smaller. This is the high part of the brow and the high part of your forehead. I like to put just a little bit of contour there so it makes my forehead look like it just is a little bit smaller than it actually is. And I'm getting really close to the hairline. Now that you can see that it's bringing down that forehead just a little bit on that high part, and there's no harsh lines, it looks so different from this side to this side. What I also like to do is do the jawline here to give it more of that chiseled look without having harsh lines either. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and again put just a little bit of contour powder on that brush and tap off any excess. And I'm just going to follow the natural jawline. Gives it the illusion of being smaller than it actually is. Or I like to use a tapered brush that looks like this. This is the Sigma Tapered Highlighter Brush F35 and it looks like this. And I will use this for blush and highlight today. And let's say that I messed up and I have a whole honkin' thing of contour powder right here that I don't want. What I can do is take that Shade and Light palette here and use either the banana powder or that cream color, the cream color here, and just tap this on the brush as well so that it's nice and saturated, and just, or put any of the highlight color underneath here to separate this contour from this contour. People like to bake this area and leave the powder here. For me, I'd like to just kind of blend it out so everything looks nice and even, because we're not chiseling out any cheeks or anything like that. So as you can see that it looks very much more contoured, more just very defined than this, and it's just matte and flat on this side. So this is what I like to do when I am doing my makeup for the day, is I kind of like to just make sure that I've got a little bit of light and dark going through my face because it gives it just a little bit more dimension. Now that we have this done, I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit about cheeks as well. Cheek brushes, again, are all dealer's choice. I like to use either this brush. I'll wipe off all the excess of the contour powder and the light powder. The blush we're using is actually going to be Pink the Town, which is from NYX. It's a high definition blush. It looks like this, and I'll show you what the color looks like. It looks like this. It's nice, it's neutral, it's a pink. Again, that's all your choice, whatever color you'd like to use. This is what I'm using today, and I'm going to be using my tapered highlighter brush, the F35, and I'm just going to be tapping it really lightly. I get just a little bit of color on my brush and then tap off the excess again. And what I like to do is smile and just tap right on the apples of the cheeks. What this does is just give me just a little bit of color on the cheeks, so when you look at me, you can see that I've got just a little bit of color. It's just kind of tap going up on top of the highlight that we've already created. What this does is blend in together and give it a really, really nice kind of even blended look, so it doesn't look like you have blush right in the middle of the apples of your cheeks and then this contour. It really just blends all together and gives it a really nice color, and you can see that everything is all, you know, nice and blended. So you can see the difference here. You can see the contour, you can see just a little bit of color more into my cheeks, so I look like I'm actually alive because I look like I'm dead on this side. This side has a lot more going on. It looks like you're healthy, it looks like you've got some color in your face, and it looks like you've got cheekbones and you've got some rosiness, and it just kind of brings everything together. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is take this nice peach shade right here, and I'm going to use the same tapered brush and just use that as a highlight on the tops of my cheeks. This is a great way to correct if you've put too much blush on. I have done this on so many occasions where I didn't realize how pigmented the blush is, and I'm like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? I put too much. This is a great way to correct that. What you're gonna do is just take a little bit of that highlight powder and just tap it right on the tops of the cheeks. And all I'm doing is just kind of tapping that on there, and then I'm taking small circles and just blending it in. This is going to highlight this area and also take down any extra pigment that you didn't want from your cheeks or from your blush. And you can see, you can even use the highlighting technique underneath the eyes as well in a triangle shape. Some people like the banana powder. I've been using this kind of creamy shade underneath my eyes and highlighting underneath, and I go all the way up to the hairline because I feel like it just highlights that whole thing and gives you a lot more lift. So just a little bit of a comparison. As you can see that it looks much nicer, it looks very healthy, and it's got a lot more structure to the face. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video, and that will be on beginner's lips. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!